In 1977, a sci-fi film titled Star Wars: A New Hope was released, and it would spark a franchise of critical success for years to come. That success did indeed come, as Lucasfilm, now a multi-million-dollar company, is under the umbrella of Disney. In recent years, the franchise has been revitalized and created a sort of Star Wars renaissance, and is producing more content than ever before. I wondered, what aspects about this story has caused its fans to keep it alive even through all these years? By the end of my explanation, you'll be able to see just how this modern myth continues to grow even after 40 years. Today I will explain the various unknown reasons that have caused Star Wars to thrive as much as it has, especially in recent years. Let's first start with the acknowledgement that Star Wars is not a completely original idea. In order to fully understand something, one must first understand its origins, its beginning. In this case, the story of Star Wars. Stories are an art in themselves, and they have influence just like everything else. Star Wars is no exception. One major influence that is not commonly known is a French sci-fi comic known as Valerian. There are many famous scenes in the Star Wars universe that have similar scenes in the sci-fi comic Valerian. For instance, in Episode 5, Han Solo is frozen in carbonite. In the Valerian comics, there's a similar scene where the main character, Valerian, is frozen in frozen plastic. According to the article, 6 Ways Valerian Might Have Influenced Star Wars, it states, Valerian finds himself frozen in liquid plastic, and although he is able to retain consciousness, it's virtually impossible not to see the resemblance. Aside from pulling inspirations from other medias, there is another key influence as well: the approach of how the story of Star Wars is told. Star Wars features a literary archetype utilized in hundreds of stories throughout the years. Hundreds of years, to be exact. This literary archetype is the myth. Myths feature a hero's journey defeating an evil, also known as the hero's journey. This is seen many times in Star Wars, the most prominent being Luke Skywalker's journey to go on a journey through the galaxy and defeat evil and overthrow an evil empire. There are many factors that contribute to the franchise's success, and there is one that is very clear out of all of them. Disney is just simply ambitious, and it has grown rapidly in recent years. Disney is taking actions that even the own franchise's creator didn't take, George Lucas. These actions include creating more female lead roles and having at least one movie scheduled every single year. I will now summarize my most critical points. As for female leads, the New York Times even had a shout out for these new female leads, one example being Hera. The Strong Women of Star Wars states, Hera's origins, complete with character designs, while another wax poetic, and hers skills as a leader, which is the right mix of decisions and compassion. Disney took a very risky action doing all of these actions with the public and financially wise as whether or not they'd be a success, but it paid off in the end as they have received much critical acclaim. Star Wars is where it's at today because it has dedicated fans, and Disney is interested in pursuing the idea of Star Wars and making more content for it. Also, the popular archetype of a myth is weaved into many stories through hundreds of years. And because of its success, it's no wonder why Star Wars has flourished because of this archetype. It is a story that many people love and will continue to love in future years. Ever since its release, people concluded that Star Wars was for little boys, but in the growing years, that is becoming less and less true. It is now certain that Star Wars is intended for everyone. No matter your gender or age, it is intended for everyone. This has fanned the flame that is Star Wars to grow, and it is now a story that everyone can invest in.